following message is a public service announcement brought to you by your friends at Degeneration X.
You know, I mean, by the time I was born, the Beatles were already broke up. So, and here, and I bet you most of the people, people younger than me, younger the kids, most of the people who are now adults now, when they were like young kids back in the early '90s, look at Ringo Starr now, and they look at, oh my God, there's Mr. Conductor. But I don't know. It's like, Ringo Starr. The movie came in was pretty funny with the dinosaur shit and everything. But I think that was his only contribution. I mean, because he really didn't do anything, significant. I mean, the only thing that really kept the memory of the Beatles going was the shooting death of John Lennon, which I'm not even calling it an assassination. He's not a public official. He was just some singer, And then George Harrison, of course, died of a heart attack or some sort of. It was either a heart attack or cancer or something. A few years ago. It wasn't even like a drug overdose. He just died like a lot of people his age dies, by technically natural causes. And Paul McCartney's just keeping himself going by, fucking younger women and marrying them and shit. So, it's like, oh, look, they did so much. Yeah, they became old farts. They become geezers, their generation used to make fun of their parents and grandparents, calling them geezers and husbands. And it's like, most of the people who probably watched this didn't even know what show they were on. They came here to say it was a show called Ed Sullivan Show. It was a variety entertainment show that had all these crazy acts and had a crazy host named Ed Sullivan who had a crazy voice. He goes, "It's a really big show," and he just and what I found out is that the talent agents that went to England to set this up weren't there for the Beatles. They were there for a dog act, and they just happened to run up with the guy who's connected with the Beatles, and that was just dumb luck. We could that night they could have just had a dog act, and the Beatles could have still been wanking around in England, for crying out loud. Just because silly girls back then. I mean, Beatles were back then were basically considered a boy band, even though I think they weren't totally sissified like boy bands are today, but and their so-called fans jumping on poor Katy Perry for altering lyrics just because she's trying to fit it for her specific gender. Leave her alone. I mean, they'd had rehearsals and stuff for this, and if it was okay for the producers and directors and whoever involved with the show, they would have known if she was going to do this, And I don't think, Ringo and Paul McCartney didn't raise a fuss about it. It was just all these stupid fans, wanting to get themselves in the news probably. Want to pick on a young singer just because she altered the lyrics a little bit. Get a fucking life. Get a fucking life. Chill the fuck out because, and the Beatles aren't the shit. They were never the shit. They were just reflections of their generation. And I know a lot of people say, "Well, you weren't around back then. You wouldn't know the significance." I'm probably going to get a lot of flack probably from a lot of the geezers out there, maybe. But hello, I really don't put much stock in most of your generation anyway. You're the ones who fucked up our country, for the past, 40 years. So, if I'm going to rag on your, one of your treasured, things of your generation, I'm going to, I'm stating what it is. They really didn't significantly do anything outside of just reflecting what was already going on. They weren't movers and shakers. They were just reflectors. They were not like the Doors. They weren't like the Rolling Stones. They weren't like Jimi Hendrix, or the Mamas and the Papas, or Janis Joplin or anything. There's just a bunch of guys caught up in all that, just because they probably still want to be significant, stay significant, and if they didn't, they would have probably fell to the wayside when everybody did become hippies and stuff, and say, all they was, just showed that they just had a, good marketing sense. But once again, the people out there want to just pick on poor Katy Perry just because of her choice of what to do in a performance. I don't think she should have even been there. I was surprised she was even there. They should have just had a bunch of surviving performers of the 1960s there to perform the songs and went on from there, or just not have the show, not try to waste everybody's time for 2 hours on a Sunday night. But that's just one person's opinion, and maybe there's a lot of people out there that agree with me. Maybe there's a lot of people, I like to start up shit and piss off people. But once again, I'm standing up for Katy Perry's sake, and last time was stupid mothers. Now we're putting up with stupid Beatle fans. Most of them probably weren't even know to really put up actually know the significance or lack of significance of the Beatles. But this is Degeneration HanX, and stay tuned here for more rants and commentaries here on the Weirdo Network. See ya. Suck it.
Well, I guess if you're not down with that, we got 2 words for you. Suck it!